I'd like to read three very brief scriptures, at least the first two are, and you'll know these by heart. The first comes from, actually there are two Proverbs, Proverbs 14:12 and also Proverbs 16:25 say basically the same thing. There is a way that seems right to man, but in the end it leads to, finish the sentence, death. What seems right to us often ends up in death. And then there is that sad epitaph at the end of Judges. Actually, it's said twice there too, interestingly enough, that sometimes God needs to repeat himself for us to hear. But in Judges chapter 21, verse 25, we have the second of these and the last of these. And that is the summary of the attitude of the people of God during the period of the Judges. They kept wavering in their faith, strong at times, weak at other times, obedient to God at times, and very disobedient, turning to other gods at times during this very short period in history. They were spiritually fickle people. But the biggest problem was that in those days Israel had no king, and everyone did as he saw fit. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Judges chapter 21, verse 25. Ironic, isn't it, that God had said, I don't want you to have a king. And yet, when they didn't have a king, they did whatever was right in their own eyes. Well, what king did he want them to have? Him. They denied him as king. And so they did what was right in their own eyes. But it wasn't just the people, it was also the king. Because if we turn to 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 16, King Saul also did what was right in his own eyes. Samuel, of course, has this conversation that I think most of us are familiar with, where he had instructed Saul to go to the Amalekites and to completely wipe them out, to spare nothing. But of course, they did spare a few things. And there's two different versions of this. One is, well, we were going to bring them back in honor to you. But the very first version was, because these were the good things. They left the weak things, they killed the weak things, but they brought back the good things. But Samuel said in verse 16, said to Saul, although you were once small in your own eyes, did you not become the head of the tribes of Israel? The Lord anointed you king over Israel, and he sent you on a mission saying, go and completely destroy those wicked people, the Amalekites. Make war on them until you have wiped them out. Why did you not obey the Lord? Why did you pounce on the plunder and do evil in the eyes of the Lord? But I did obey the Lord, Saul said. I went on the mission the Lord assigned me. I completely destroyed the Amalekites and brought back Agag, their king. The soldiers, it wasn't him. The soldiers took sheep and cattle from the plunder, the best of what was devoted to God, in order to sacrifice them to the Lord your God at Gilgal. But Samuel replied, does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the voice of the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. For rebellion is like the sin of divination, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. Doing what is right in our own eyes oftentimes is a great disobedience to our God, who's told us what to do and how to do it.